Natin.
Welcome back. Let's talk about the stocks as promised. Our research team is standing by with CNBC-TV18 top stocks that we need to track for the day. Sonia, you go first. Big boy Reliance Industries, the demerger is gaining momentum.
It is actually. So, more steps towards a demerger going through and the eventual listing of Jio Financial Services, which is big from Reliance perspective and from the industry as well. So Reliance's shareholders, creditors have passed the resolution now for demerger of the financial services arm. It will be called Jio Financial Services. Remember, the board had approved the demerger of the financial services arm in October of 2022, and KV Kamath will be the non-executive chairman of the demerged entity. There are big plans with Jio Financial Services, and Reliance shareholders will receive 1 share of the demerged entity for every 1 share that is held in the parent company. The company eventually will be listed both on BSE and NSE. Now, brokerages are very upbeat on the potential that the financial services business has. Jefferies expects the listing to happen by September of this year itself. Macquarie says that Jio Financial Services will be valued at over 1.5 lakh crores and will be the 5th largest financial services firm in India. Now, remember, the demerger will help the financial services business attract different sets of investors, strategic partners and lenders having specific interests in the financial services business. So very interesting over there, unlocking of value for shareholders as well. So I'm going with green for Reliance Industries. But of course, standard disclosure, Reliance is the owner of the channel that you're watching. But the other stock in focus is Titan. Came out with its numbers yesterday, and Mangalam has the latest. Mangalam, good morning.
Good morning. So Titan results were largely in line with expectations, and that's because the company had prepared the analysts with its fourth quarter cheat sheet. But the few soft spots in the numbers were the weakness in margins, largely in the eyewear business. Also, some sort of weakness in the studded mix as well. So if you just take a look at the revenues that the company posted, 9,700 crores as against expectations of 9,095 crores. That outperformance is explained by a sale of gold ingots worth nearly 1,055 crores, which the company does at the end of every quarter. The amount varies every quarter itself. The EBITDA, 1,044 crores versus street expectations of 1,056 crores, and the net profit in line at 734 crores versus our expectations of 737 crores as well. The jewelry business, the margins out there were 13.2% versus 12.5%. We expected a bigger spike there, largely because the studded mix was expected to be 35%. This time around, it was 33% and off its pre-COVID levels of closer to 40% as well. The eyewear business is where we saw a big dip in the EBITDA margins at around 1.2%. versus expectations of 15-16%, and that's because the company made a one-time payout to franchisors worth around 8 odd crores. So margin guidance on that will be crucial. I was listening to the con call yesterday. They had given margin guidance for jewelry as well as their watches business between 12 to 13%. So eyewear sustainable margins is something we'll be watching out for. And the good part is they said high-ticket items saw faster growth in jewelry, and gold harvest itself has reached pre-COVID levels. See the stock mildly in the red, largely because it's priced to perfection.
All right, and you'll hear from the Mangalam, thanks very much for that. You'll hear from the Titan management at 9:30 a.m. Ashok Sonthalia, CFO of Titan, will answer questions with regards to the earnings that they have posted. All right, let's move on. ABB is the next one that we're going to focus on. How do the numbers look? Vivek has got details. Vivek, morning.
Well, good morning. ABB, we had highlighted, how the global had given a guidance as far as the Indian operations were concerned, and that guided that, the order inflow in Q4 was very strong. Remember, the company actually follows the calendar, so it's Q1 for them. Now, when you're talking about the results, it's a very strong quarter, much ahead of what the street was anticipating. The key positive being the strong order inflow during the quarter gone by. So revenues up almost 22.5%. Margins have expanded by over 250 basis points. Optically, the net profit is down 34%. But it's actually on account of base quarter impact that we actually saw. So optically too, the profitability has been higher than expectations. Key highlights: order inflows of over 3,100 crores in the quarter gone by, up almost 37% on a year-on-year basis. And orders have come in from all of these segments, including the metal pack, the data center, as well as IT majors. So order book is very healthy at over 7,170 crore. And in terms of the outlook, the management has said the manufacturing sector is actually showing a very strong uptick. So they're seeing increased opportunities for their services going forward as well.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Vivek. Well, let's get in Abhishek. He's here to tell us about a whole host of financial names that came out with their numbers. Morning, Abhishek.
Morning, Nigel. To begin with, Cholamandalam, Vele and Subia has done a phenomenal job at handling Cholamandalam versus peers who are seeing a bit of slowdown, especially in the CV segment. The growth rate remains robust. Overall, the AUM growth is one of the best that you are seeing in last 27 quarters, coming in at 36% plus on a YY basis and about 8.7% on a sequential basis. The disbursements growth was robust at around 20%. The asset quality is one of the best in last 8 quarters. Gross NPA and net NPA ratio are one of the lowest and 8 quarters coming in at 4.63 and 3.11% respectively. Highest ever quarterly operating profits for the company at around 1,276 crores. The new business has taken off really well. The growth is robust over there, and the show continues that despite a strong base effect, they do continue to grow robustly. A cost to income ratio is one of the best in last 5 quarters, coming in at 39.22%. So the digital initiatives taken by Cholamandalam is working really well. PNL, both in terms of NI and PAT, it's a beat on our poll by a massive number. Aavas Financial, the stock is down about 20% YTD and about 24% in last 6 months. The negative news flow over there is that their MD has actually resigned. So Sushil Kumar has resigned from the post. Number-wise, it remains strong. Asset quality has improved. The business growth momentum has been good, both in disbursements and AUM. So the spreads have actually declined a bit YOY and quarter-on-quarter. However, the net interest margin for the year has actually improved YOY. Back to you.
Okay, thanks Abhishek for that. So Cholamandalam could definitely be one of the stocks of the day. Very, very strong numbers coming through. But the stock has also gained about 25% this year. We will have a chat with Arul Selvan Dinesh, who's the President and Chief Financial Officer at Cholamandalam Investment. He joins in at 9:40 a.m. So you wouldn't want to miss that one. But let's go across to Sonal now. She's tracking a couple of names as well. There's Tata Chemicals, Petronet LNG. Sonal, hi, morning.
Good morning, Sonia. Starting with Petronet LNG, because it was a weak set, there was an expectation of a sequential recovery, but the numbers are lower and lower versus the poll as well. So revenues were higher at 13,874 crores versus the poll, that is, but they were down 12% on a sequential basis. EBITDA was lower at 940 crore rupees versus a poll of 1,078 crore rupees. Margins at 6.7% and profits at 614 crores versus a poll of 665 crores. Now, the Dahej volumes were up 11% on a sequential basis. Their utilization was higher as well. However, Kochi volumes were expected to be higher. They were flat sequentially with utilization at just 8%. In fact, FY23 is the weakest quarter in the last 4 years for the company. Now, Jeffrey says that in April, the Dahej utilization has improved to levels of 97%. That's a multi-quarter high. There were lack of surprises on capex, which was comforting. But if there's finalization of their PDHPP project, it could be a key overhang on the stock. But going with red one on Petronet LNG. On the flip side, Tata Chemicals reported good set of numbers. Revenue growth of 27%, EBITDA growth of 47%. Margins were higher by 300 basis points for the company and profits were higher by 54%. Both the segments, that is basic chemicals and specialty, saw revenue growth. For basic chemicals, it was up 32%. EBIT was up 70% as well. Specialty chemicals, revenue was up 4%, but there was an EBIT loss this time around. But going forward, commentary on pricing and realizations and demand as well is something we'll be watching out for.
All right, Sonal, thanks very much for that. Now, we've got more earnings lined up for you. Reema's got that list. Reema, morning.
Hi, morning. I've got 3 earnings. One is Sula Vineyards, the other one is KEC, and the third one is Sona BLW. So starting with Sula, it's a strong quarter. Revenue growth of 7%. The company has managed to maintain margins at 25.5%. For the full year, it's their highest ever annual sales. Premiumization is going up. The elite and the premium brands now contribute more than 50% to their overall revenues, a pickup of 600 basis points compared to the pre-pandemic level. Sona BLW too has clocked in a good quarter, 35% top-line growth. EBITDA is up 49%, PAT is up 54%, and the electric vehicle contribution too has been going up. And the company has won a solid 501 crore order from the EV space from a North American OEM in Q4. And finally, KEC International. Well, the order book for the company and the order inflows are very strong. But this time, the margins have come under pressure for the company. So margins are down to 5.1%, and that's the reason why profits are lower by 35% year on year. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. In fact, Sona BLW is another stock that, I mean, as Reema was pointing out, very strong numbers this time. And the management said that their electric vehicle business has grown at a really sharp pace. The only problem with Sona BLW is the stock price. The valuations are quite rich, trading at 40 times FY25 earnings. So that's something that you'd want to keep on your radar. Otherwise, no complaints with the numbers at all. Here's a quick recap. Let's thank our entire research team for joining in. Stocks with positive news flow: Reliance Industries, ABB India, Cholamandalam Investment, Tata Chemicals, Sula Vineyards, and Sona BLW. While stocks with negative news flow: there's Titan, Aavas, Financiers, Petronet LNG, and KEC International. But the other big headline globally that we're tracking is the fall in crude prices. Crude is now at almost $82 a barrel, and that, of course, is positive for oil importing nations like ours. Manisha Gupta is here to give us a quick roundup of all the action overnight. Manisha, hi, good morning.
Thank you for that, Sonia. Well, yeah, $72 a barrel really for the Brent prices. It's trading at a 16-month lows, and we've seen 4% of decline in the overnight markets. And with that, we are down 11% now for this week. The U.S. Fed rate hike has been as expected, but there is now fear of wider contagion in U.S. regional banking sector. We also have seen weak economic data. The inventories have continued to increase, and the supplies are on a rise as well from Russia and Iran, etc. And with the U.S. Fed done, the markets will now watch out for the European Central Bank monetary policy meeting today, where there is also an expected to have an interest rate hike. That's really weighing on all industrial commodities. But within this, what really is shining bright is the gold price. It's trading at around $2,044 per ounce, and the knee-jerk reaction took the prices once at $2,080 overnight as well, even as briefly. But it is the precious metals that clearly are shining. Silver as well trading at a one-year high, so we are anticipating more strength onto this one.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Oil and precious metals in focus there. We'll take a very quick break here. We are back and Rajiv Samant of Sula Vineyards will be joining us to talk about their fourth quarter earnings. As Rima pointed out, that 7% revenue growth in the quarter, but for the full year, numbers are looking pretty strong, 20% plus. So that's the conversation coming up in just a bit. Markets, of course, are also very much in focus. We'll get you many stock views. Deepan Mehta, director at Elixir Equities, also with us in just a bit.